All right, let's get this show on the road. Welcome everyone to the September 9th Rotary meeting. It looks like Will is still trying to connect to audio, so we'll be patient for him. But in the meantime, we are dedicating today as Costeaux French Bakery Day. So everybody, thank you for wearing your jester hats or participating by buying having some delicious Costeaux bread. I have the what's it called? The cinnamon walnut crack bread here. Really amazing as French toast. This is also, well, there are two themes that we've got going today. This is Rotary International's Basic Education and Literacy Month. So we're trying to tie in some things relative to that theme. And our international theme for the year is Rotary Opens Opportunities. And I'm sure many of us through this COVID and through the fires, even though we're under some kind of difficulty, have noticed opportunities that are opening up for us to try new things. But before we get started with that, is Terry on the call? I don't see Terry. Terry was going to do the inspiration, but I do have one. Because we are trying to get some socials together in spite of COVID and fires, I found this little line from a gentleman named Eli Wiesel, who was a Holocaust survivor. And he said, "Friendship marks a life even more deeply than love." So if we can just try to get our social going in whatever manner is comfortable for us, I think that would be really helpful in this time. We'll try to get together with you, Brad. We're all coming to Tennessee. Larry Mills, would you like to introduce visiting Rotarians?
Yes, President Nancy, thank you. I also want to hold up this. This is an empty bag, the Costeaux bag, and it actually had a loaf of cinnamon walnut bread in it, but the loaf has been consumed. So I don't have anything to show in that regard, but I do have the bag.
Well, good news, there is more.
There's more, I'll go get it. In any event, I am the acting Sergeant at Arms, and Colleen is on vacation. And I'm going to try to identify all the visitors here. Well, first, let's talk about Brad. Brad's visiting us. Brad, are you in Tennessee, in fact?
I am. You're looking at the 7 acres I mow every week behind me.
Oh, that's a lot. I'm glad you're occupied there. Well, welcome, Brad. Thanks for checking in. Also, we have Ciro in Florida somewhere. Where are you, Ciro?
I'm in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Go to Orlando and you head to the ocean, and I'm right at the ocean.
Right. Showing us rockets being fired off there. That was nice this morning. Thanks for joining us, Ciro. We appreciate that.
Ask him if he's in his new home.
Yes, he is.
Did you hear that? Great.
Home. What a house here. December. So.
Great. We can all come and visit you.
Bring wine, please. Nothing like that here.
And then we have a perennial visitor, Pam Moulton, and friend today. Thanks for being here, Pam. Not really a visitor, but we want to acknowledge you. So thanks for being here.
And I have Ken here too.
Past District Governor Ken.
Good morning.
Morning, Ken.
We have Rotary royalty here.
Hey, Jack.
All right, I think that's all the visitors. If I've missed someone and you're a visitor, chime in. But I'm going to turn it back to you, Nancy, to continue.
Okay, I have one question. Ciro, are you wearing a Costeaux Bakery hat?
Yes, I am.
Job. Wow.
He wins.
There it is. Send some stale stuff too. That's pretty good. I just don't get that kind of here.
So when Will was president, he used to have us take photos of ourselves in strange places. This would qualify. I mean, wearing a Costeaux Bakery hat on our rocket scientist in Florida. I mean, I'm very proud of you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So Will, we see you on there, but we just wanted to play a little, before you speak. I mean, you're going to speak in a little while. I just wanted to kick it off.
There he is.
There he is.
Good morning, Will.
No video. Jeez.
This is just
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. It's glad you came. You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
So we are dedicating this as Costeaux French Bakery Day and a place where everybody knows your name. And we can't wait till it's open again to all of our community, because we certainly need a place to gather. We will be hearing from you in a little while. So but we just wanted to recognize your participation. Do you see all of our regalia here? Do you see all of us?
I do. I'm amazed with Jay Beckwith. How's service down there this morning, Jay?
I don't know. I tried to redeem my, my cup, and nobody would take it. I was banging on the door.
Give him another hour, then they'll be there.
All right. Well, back to the theme of Rotary opens opportunities, having fun and doing good. We are going to be introducing monthly volunteer opportunities, because we can't really get together in a large group to do things together. We're going to introduce a project a month that we can do with each other, socially distanced with masks on, or just go and do it if the mood strikes. So Jay, were you going to go ahead and kick off this topic?
Sure. So my responsibility this year is to try to adjust our meetings in some respects to the COVID situation in terms of Zoom and so forth. And Zoom meetings can get pretty deadly, right? So I want to try to follow the information that has been handed out. I hope you've looked at your current issue of the Rotarian. Really great stuff in there. Let me share my screen. Here we go. So this is the spread I'm working off of as of this morning. It's the idea is getting people into action, and this is a really excellent synopsis of what we're going to try and do. So they focus on finding your story, making things simple and easily accessed, and then testing. So we're going to be trying a few things that are a little different, and we want to get your feedback as we go along. So I've looked at the things that we do and that we need to do over COVID. We've always been boots on the ground, so that helping hands thing is easy. The two new things are find things that we can do either for each other or for the community that help us deal with the issue of post-traumatic stress. We all have it. It's just that we can't avoid it. We've got 3 major fires in 4 years. We've got COVID, we've got politics, we've got climate change. We are all suffering from PTSD. So we just have to deal with that. And I'm going to be sending out, as the end of this meeting today, some ways in which we can make our meetings safe. Nobody's going to go out of the house if we don't feel like we've taken the maximum safety precautions. And one of those things is you don't have to show up. If you is going out the door and you just go, nope, not today, I'm going back in, that's just fine. So we're going to try to cut people more slack and be a little more open about that. The other thing is to keep our eyes open. Anything that helps, helps. So we don't have to go do the specific thing that we're identifying for the month, but if you can come and just suggest something that you've seen, drive by somebody's house that needs mowing, you know, that kind of stuff. So those are I'm using these emojis because it's a quick way, it's sort of a mnemonic where you can identify the things that we're trying to accomplish. And you'll see us using that going forward. If this works, we can push it out into the broader community. If it doesn't work, we can forget it. So there's no commitment here. Whoops, let me go back. I'm going to hand this back over to President Nancy.
So I wanted to ask everyone in the past, how many people have volunteered for the Foss Creek cleanup? Guys, just raise your hand. You know, if you've gone out to the creek over the years, it's always been fun. It's eye-opening. The amount of garbage that gets picked up. Well, I've been talking to the city to find out if they are planning this year's Foss Creek cleanup, but they're not. And there was an article in the Press Democrat last weekend about this group called the Clean Team, and they are part of the Russian River Keeper organization. And they have set up during the month of September cleanups at the various Russian River beaches throughout our community. And on September 26th, it's Memorial Beach. And I've already signed up. And if you go online to, you can Google Russian River Keeper or Clean Team. You can see the little Clean Team logo there. Go online and you can register and just get your own paper ticket. But I'm hoping as a group, we can get at least, 3, 4, 5 of us out there wearing shirts and cleaning up. They will provide gloves, bags, the little grabbers, and it's only 2 hours, 9 to 11, and you're out in the river, and we're doing good and hopefully having fun at the same time. So I would really appreciate anyone who's willing to come out and do that. Let's try to get a few of us together to do it. And I will be reminding you as we get closer to that. If you can't make that date, there are the upcoming weekends. There's one in Guerneville, Geyserville, I think is this weekend, and other places. So I think we can, instead of Foss Creek cleanup, we can clean up our own Memorial Beach. Also, let's see. Jay's going to be doing some, what am I trying to say? A survey about some ideas for October. But in the meantime, we are also in the middle of the Food to Firefighters campaign that Skip Brand helped kick off with our cooperation for our 501c3. So that is also something right now, if you can donate some money to that, that will continue, because as we know, we're hopefully not going to be seeing more fires, but that's unlikely. So under the opening opportunities theme, Diane, do you have anything for membership? I'm just trying to work in my committees. We still have more to go with our opportunities, but I wanted to make sure Diane had a moment if she does have anything for membership. You there, Diane? Nope. She's here. She's probably taking notes right now. Well, anyway, go ahead, Jay, with the survey.
Actually, I need Lance to, I've got the page up, Lance.
All righty, let me fire off the poll.
So this is not a commitment. This is just this is sort of to make the Zoom a little more interactive. We'd like to be able to get your opinion about stuff. So what we're trying to do is gauge the things that are most interesting going forward. So we've identified 5 different things here. The blood drive, food bank, you know about that. Nancy, you want to talk a little bit about moms to moms and the family meals?
Yeah, so the Moms to Moms is an event, or it's a program put together by Corazon. And the Alliance Medical Center works with a lot of pregnant moms. And once they are ready to have their babies, they pretty much turn them over to Corazon, and Corazon puts together baby showers for these families. And I will be getting more information on that, but they need donations like high chair strollers, clothes, diapers, things like that. And then they will also, when we can get back together again, help wrap the gifts and put on the showers. So I know this is probably not everybody's interested in that, but there are ways to help this program. And it's pretty cool. And so once the moms get into the baby showers, then the Corazon people help them assimilate into the community. They help them go get their GEDs if they need them, or they just help them get their driver's licenses. It's really a very cool program. So that's what that is.
And moms
the Sonoma Family Meal. Okay, so Sonoma Family Meal is an organization here in Sonoma County that started with the Tubbs fire. Heather Irwin is the organizer. She's also a Press Democrat journalist. She has raised money to pay restaurants to cook food to give to the evacuees during the fires. And during COVID, she stepped back in with this program to feed people who couldn't get out of their homes. And so it was sort of this amazing program that was already in place. But now it's back to the fires again. So what we are doing, the board approved a matching grant. We're going to contribute $250 out of our treasury. And we're going to ask the members, if every member in the club could give $10, that would bring up us another $250 for a combined total of $500. And then the district will match that $500 for a total of $1,000. And we are joining the Noon Club, who is donating about $1,800 or $1,400. And so our total contribution will be $3,800 to this organization. We're waiting to hear back if the district will give us this grant, because initially it was for fires, but it went over to COVID, and now it's back to fires again. So it's kind of confusing, but it's a very worthy program. It keeps the restaurants going and it feeds people at the same time. So it's a pretty much a no-brainer.
Is that something that we can be donating to now, or should we wait until we hear on the district grant?
Well, if you want to individually donate to Sonoma Family Meal, you can do that. But we should wait till we hear about the district grant for our own club.
To get the matching.
Yeah, to get the matching. So we should be hearing from the district about the end of this month, early October.
And the preschool play logs is, we've got a bunch of redwood stumps behind the elementary school across from the high school. And it's about a half a day of digging some holes and doing a little carpentry, that sort of thing. Let's give this another 60 seconds. We've got 6 of 25 people that have given us your opinion. If you don't give us your opinion, we will know your name and we will, no.
Hunt you down.
So President, this is anonymous, so you're not
Yeah.
committing.
One of the things
Nancy.
that happen is that speakers you can ask a question of the speaker, and we can throw up a poll like this, and we can, instead of just showing hands, we can actually get a really solid poll for what our interest is. It's Nancy was really frustrated sending out questionnaires and not getting any answers back, and I told her that 20% return is actually good, and she was getting 60%. So we're pretty good around that stuff, but this makes it a little more interactive.
Yeah. So Nancy, President Nancy, can I jump in for a sec?
Yeah.
Talk about blood drive. This is not an organized event. I just happened to read in the newspaper that there are no more really organized blood drives that I'm aware of. I haven't seen one in Healdsburg in a year or two, but that doesn't mean that blood is not needed.
Mm-hmm.
There is a blood donation center down in Santa Rosa, North End, off of, I believe, Industrial. And you can drive there on your own. It doesn't have to be an organized event. You're not going to be stuck in a travel trailer with 20 other people. Just do it on your own, and I would urge you to do it. Blood is needed, and if you happen to be like I am, type O, it's not just you and your type that you're donating to, but O is universal for. If you're O negative, you're universal to all people. If you're O positive like I am, you can donate to anyone who is positive. So that's A, that's B, that's AB, and O. And I would urge you to do it.
Thanks, Fred. That was Fred's baby. We had Larry on there, but it's really Fred Walter.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
My bad.
That's okay. We should keep moving here. Did you have some more on there? Oh yeah, the socials. If you have the if you haven't spoken with your team yet, please do so, and let's try to put some things together. I know now that the fires are beating us up outdoors, it's hard to meet, but let's try. Okay, next slide. Chris, Cameron.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I have my slide on a separate computer, so I have no idea how to share my slide, so I'll read it. So this is regarding the Rotary Youth Exchange, and your district youth exchange committee is gearing up for the 2021 to 22 exchange year, and we would love your participation. We will use this year to hone training, expand support to participating clubs, and refine many of the actions needed to fulfill Department of State, Rotary International, and our district's requirements. And constantly monitoring and managing expectations, obviously, and being aware of the COVID-19 situation. The Rotary Youth Exchange is an amazing opportunity for your club and your community to send ambassadors, our club, from a local high school, and in return experience the joy and excitement of ambassadors in other countries, from other countries. Rotary International Youth Exchange is one of Rotary's most successful peace-building programs. And only through youth exchange is your club involved in 3 avenues of service in one program, which is youth, international, and community service. And we look forward to participation in this excellent program. It's unfortunate this year that we are where we're at. And as part of that, there's some training that's going to be, actually it's within the next couple of days. And it's on Thursday, this Thursday the 10th at 6 tomorrow, or Saturday the 12th at 9 a.m. And it's a 1.5 hour long training. And it's covering how to find youth exchange candidates, walking through the new pre-application or modified application process, and holding interviews, introducing our candidate to the District Youth Exchange Committee, and their application process, they have to go through the candidates, and then there'll be 30 minutes just to visit and share challenges and solutions. And I think Nancy has this if somebody wants to have it sent to them, all right to do that.
And anything we talk about today, we have the links. Oh, you know what? Chris, thank you. Does anyone have any questions about Rotary Youth Exchange? This is the year we're building and hoping to find, kick things off for next year. And hopefully people will consider having students stay in their homes.
Yeah, it's interesting. My sister Carol, she actually, in the 60s, she went to Germany. Her and I talked about this recently, her trip there. So, yeah, as an exchange student in high school.
Nice. Well, and Emma is still so connected to our community, and Marta, wonderful Marta. Hopefully people have been sending her postcards. Thank you, Chris. One thing I wanted to mention in the October survey we didn't include in there, but there is a need for poll workers. And I don't know if anybody saw this in the Press Democrat, but there is an organization called Power the Polls. And it begins actually on October 31st here in Sonoma County. Because of COVID, they're opening the polls up on October 31st, November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and they need volunteers. So I've signed up. I'm going to work one of the days, and that is another opportunity to give service to our community. And if you can let us know what you do and take a picture of yourself doing it, it will really help us in our effort. So I will have more on that later. So under the theme of our basic education and literacy month, Mark Johnny has a couple words to say about choices.
Yeah, this is really just a reminder. First of all, don't forget about choices. We are going to try to implement a program this year. It's a little more complicated because of the distance learning at the high school. They're not really allowing anyone, if they ever go to a setting where they are teaching at the school, they won't probably allow anyone on campus. And I don't know that we have volunteers that would want to go on campus with the COVID pandemic right now. So I have been in contact with Leo Mueller, who heads up the Choices program. They are developing a distance or a Zoom Teams Choices program that should be available around mid-October. I'll be talking to Leo about that in more detail, but I have not had that conversation with him yet. The plan for this year is actually to do 2 programs. We did not do Choices last year because we were cut short due to the COVID crisis. So we're going to try to do one program probably in the late fall or winter, where we do a program with 8th graders that were last year's 7th graders that missed out on the program. And then maybe later in the spring, do our normal program, our routine program with the 7th graders. The distance learning Choices program is going to be one day rather than 2 days. It'll be one day, a 45-minute session, according to what Leo has told me. But I don't have any more details than that right now. So we'll probably need, there's 7 periods in the junior high school. We'll probably still try to do it during the phys ed class. And so we'll probably need 7 teams of 2 people to do it, but it'll be just a one-day commitment, 1 hour for each team, or 45-minute commitment for each team. There will be training for that, and that's under development right now.
Great, thank you for staying with this, Mark.
Hey, Mark, it's Will. Quick question for you. Through your discussions there with Choices, will these virtual opportunities be designed for the entire class, meaning the 20 to 30 students in there, or will we potentially looking at breaking these down into smaller groups? And I only bring that up having my own reference here, working with my kids doing their remote learning and observing the difficulties it is having engagement and communication when there's greater than 10 to 12 people on a call when you're trying to get interaction going.
Yeah. I don't know the answer to that question. Will, we can probably, if we have enough, if working with a class of 25 or so students is going to be an issue, if we have enough volunteers, we would probably be able to potentially set up 2 Zoom meetings per class with volunteers working with half the class. We could, if we've got the volunteers, we can probably do it with smaller groups if we'd like to do that. And that's something that I can talk to Leo about. I hope to talk to him sometime within the next week or so.
Great, thank you.
Great. So
this is Carl. I just wonder if anybody noticed it's 7:40 and it's still dark outside.
Yeah.
Due to the smoke or the
both.
The absence of sun. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know. That's insane. The sky was so orange yesterday.
It's going to be very orange again today.
Yeah, and Diane and I are going out to play golf. We look at it's Live Like Drew Day for Diane and me. We'll be wearing our masks out there. Dan, I'd like to put off the foundation report until next week, if you don't mind. Could you remove that slide, please? Either Jay, oh, there we go. I wanted to have make sure there are announcements. If anyone has an announcement, please let us know. Raise your hand if announcements. Okay, so recognition, Larry.
All right. Well, I'll start with myself. During the course of the last couple weeks, my daughter got married up in Mendocino. It was a wonderful time with very small wedding just for family. And the wedding cake was from Costeaux's. Pleased to say, we took it up there. And so in recognition of that, I would like to make a donation to the club foundation of $100 and make it a match of other members' donations to the district grant that we're applying for, if that comes through. And if it doesn't, I'll just give the funds to the foundation for its general purposes. So that is one. We actually don't have that many recognitions. For some reason at this time of year, we've got Jimmy Gore actually, and Elizabeth had an anniversary on September 1st. I'll announce that. And let's see, Chris Cameron, I think you had an anniversary with Linda on August 31st that I didn't call you out on before. Is that right?
41 years.
All right.
Wow.
So how would you like to celebrate that with your Rotary friends?
I'll just give $50 to the general fund.
Great. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Terry Tremblay, I think I discerned that you had an anniversary as well, you and Kathy, on September 1st. Is that correct? Whoops, Terry, where are you?
He's muted.
Yeah.
Terry, will you own up to that?
There we go. It's actually September 21st. So it's coming up.
Oh, 21st.
It's the 21st, but it's...
Well, our Rotary records are wrong. But anyway, shall we wait and acknowledge you later?
No, I'm happy to be recognized today. It's
21st will be 52 years for us. So I'll donate an appropriate amount to the Sunrise Foundation.
All right, great. I think that's about it, President Nancy, for recognitions for today.
Okay, well, thanks, Larry. I just noticed Andy.
Nancy?
Yeah.
This is Brad. I'll send $25 because I have blue sky and clean air to bring.
Oh my God.
Rub it in.
Thank you, Brad.
We'll take the blue sky and clean air.
Yeah, I was going to say, keep the $25. Send us the air and blue sky. I'm with Jay on that one.
Exactly.
Wish I could send it to you.
We'll hope for better days. They will come. Andy, I wanted to just check in with you regarding the golf tournament and the auction.
So they're both off to a great start. The tournament, of course, started on September 1st. I played with my foursome this weekend, and it was really hot, but the course is in great shape. The team there at Taman has been doing a fantastic job. The course wasn't in as great a shape after we were done, but still, that's green grass out there for you. The auction is now live. Encourage you to get out there and register a bid. Doesn't have to be the winning bid, but just the activity will generate more bids. So please get out there and place your bid. And right now we have about 15 foursomes so far. Normally we can fit 18 foursomes when we play all on one day. So far so good. And of course we still have the rest of the month to get our games in. So thank you.
Thanks, Andy. And that's under Basic Education and Literacy Month because proceeds go to the Drew Esquivel Memorial Scholarship Fund. So please support that.
Nancy, could I make a quick announcement?
Of course.
I just wanted to say to those of you who signed up for the wine tasting group that the forces of nature are against us at this moment. So until all of this settles down, we are just waiting. So as soon as everything gets a little bit calmer, hoping that everything does get calmer, we'll be ready to go.
Thanks, Bob. Fortunately, there is some wine in this community to keep us going until that time. But I'm dying for some good Chardonnay. One other thing, we've got a minute here. I do have a self-recognition. Today is my son's 40th birthday, and he is, a couple weeks ago, he was certified to be a tanker pilot with CAL FIRE. And so he has been flying over us repeatedly, dropping retardant on this crazy fire of ours. So in honor of his certification as a tanker pilot and his 40th birthday, I'm going to donate $40 to our general fund. Actually, I'm going to do $20 to the general fund and $20 to the Sonoma Family Meal Project. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that and wave at airplane number 86 when it flies over. That's him. So at this time, unless there are any other announcements, Edward, would you be able to introduce our guest speaker? And hopefully you're still okay out there on West Side Road.
Yes, we're fine. Diane had it a lot rougher the other day with John, but I hear they're fine too. Anyway, today's speaker is our own Will Seppi. I'll keep it very short. He was raised in Healdsburg. He's a graduate of St. John's Elementary School, Cardinal Newman High School, and Villanova University. He grew up with the family business, Costeaux Bakery. About 15 years ago, hey Dakota, He returned to Healdsburg after being in public accounting and corporate finance to work in the family business. He's married to Brandy. He has 3 very lovely children that we have met out here. Will enjoys cooking, and he's a past president of Sunrise Morning Rotary. So Will, take it away.
Good morning. Thanks, Ed, very much. And good morning, fellow Sunrise Jesters. I'm sorry, Lee, that I couldn't deliver you some chocolate muffins this morning to get you through this presentation, but we'll work on that down the road here. Lance has got the slideshow started. Great to see so many people. Brad, are you riding that mower around right now? That's what my question is. It looked like you might be.
I'm sitting on the porch.
Oh, you're sitting on the porch. Okay. I thought you might have been actually mowing that vast expanse of pasture while we were meeting. I was going to say very creative opportunity. And Archie and Ciro, thanks for sporting the Costeaux hats. Jay, appreciate you planting yourself right in the middle of that cafe. We definitely look forward to the day when we can resume appropriately that indoor service, but I think as many of you know, right now we've changed some of our operations significantly, and one of that is the downtown cafe. It is open. We've limited the hours a little bit, changed things around, and you come in and order at the counter now for takeout food and or if you want to sit on the patio, but the smoke that we've had over the last several weeks is a limiting factor, that along with the heat. So let me not digress anymore, but I want to go through and give you a little bit of history on Costeaux. And am I able, Lance, to move these slides, or are you going to move them for me?
No, you're going to have to ask me. You want me to just say next slide?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's slide another one through there. All right. Fundamentally, to talk to you a little bit about the business and how we run it. And it's really about the three Ps: the people, the processes, and then the products that we make. And ultimately, it's the culture of the organization that sets us apart and is the framework for everything that we do across the company. So people, process, and product. And those three areas are supported, next slide, by the core values. And our core values are really the underpinnings for the company, and family, quality, service, and community. And those aspects of the business really instilled in me from my parents growing up in the business, and just being raised with a certain work ethic and mantra that has come from them. And when I came back, 15 years ago, or actually be 16 years this coming October, we didn't have these things, written down, but they were already embedded. So I was able just to kind of capture some of these items, put them down on paper, and start sharing those with our various teams, managers, and incorporating those into everything that we do. And that really starts on our hiring process and who we're bringing into the organization, and making sure that they're aligned with our company culture. And we, our interview process, in fact, we just finished interviewing a couple interns from the Career Technical Education Foundation, a program that CTE is working on, and we've extended offers to 2 interns to join us here. One started yesterday, another one in a couple weeks. But our interview questions are really all designed upon getting to know the people that we're bringing in. And often I hear at the conclusion of those interviews, people are surprised at the questions that we've asked. And they're really not questions. They're more along the lines of tell me about, or describe to me how, and allows us to get to know that candidate. So the 4 core values are really the bedrock for everything that we do. Next slide. Family, I think many of you may know my folks, Carl and Nancy. They obviously bought the business in 1981 from John and Annie Costeaux. The little inset photo there is a picture of them at the old register at the original bakery, which was just to the north of the current location downtown. Today it houses Vanguard Properties. Next slide. Quickly about myself, Ed mentioned these things, but Cardinal Newman here, went out to Villanova outside Philadelphia for a college degree in accounting, started my career with Ernst & Young in auditing and worked in downtown Philly. I decided one winter when I got out of a cab and wearing my two-piece suit, slipped on the sidewalk, ripped a hole in my suit pant and gash in my knee, that I really didn't need to be in the East Coast in Philadelphia anymore. So I decided then and there that I was going to come back to the West Coast. I transferred with Ernst & Young from their Philly office to Palo Alto and worked down there for another years. If you hit the button, Lance, I think something else will happen here on these slides. There we are. And you can hit it again, I think, a couple more times. I joined after working for Ernst & Young, a company called Kinetics. They were a construction company that did design and install of high purity process piping solutions for semiconductor and biopharmaceutical companies. And they grew through acquisitions over the course of a year and a half. They acquired 18 companies throughout the world. And so I was one of their auditors that went in and helped to get their books cleaned up and get things aligned. And you're going to hear the kids and Brandy start coming through the house momentarily here as they're trying to get shuttled out the door to school. So you might hear some yelling in the background. So I worked for Kinetics. It was quite a great experience, learned a lot, but at the end of the day, I knew I needed to move on. Next slide there, please. I'm going to skip this a little bit, but Celerity was a sub-company of Kinetics, and I was transferred from my boss to run that operation as the corporate controller of Celerity. A couple things happened here. Keep hitting the slide, Lance, please, if you don't mind. The Enron debacle that occurred, and Nancy sent me a note last night. She had a preview into these slides, and she was like, "What? Why is Ken Lay and Jeff Skilling there?" If you know who these folks were back in the 2008 era. These guys were responsible for some pretty bad things that happened to a lot of great people. And as a result of that, we had 1998, I should have said time frame. Some Sarbanes-Oxley compliance stuff came out, and that made my job even more difficult from an accounting standpoint. So I realized that I needed to move on. I didn't want to keep in the corporate world that these two guys were doing, manipulating earnings and things like that. And I think some of you may know, having worked in corporate and been there with public organizations, there's a tremendous amount of pressure put on companies for achieving their quarterly results to make Wall Street's expectations. So I knew that I wanted a place where I could go where longer term effect, longer term outlook, and that ended up bringing me back here to the family business. Next slide, Lance. All right. So a couple things. All these things happened in this year. Warner Brothers established, first issue of Time magazine, one-piece swimming suits, Bob Dole, Charlton Heston, and the first domestic refrigerator was in Sweden. Does anyone know what year that was? I can't tell, but if anyone's got a guess, speak up.
1923.
1923. There we go. 1923. 1923. So that was also the year that, next slide, Costeaux Bakery was born, if you will. It started as the French-American bakery, and back in 1923, a loaf of bread, 1 pound loaf of bread would cost you 8 cents. So there's a little bit of perspective for you. Not so much today. We charge a little more than So next slide, please. Over the names, the business changed hands, changed names a little bit. Fred Lupe had the bakery in the 60s. He called it Fred's Bakery. And on that slide there, the bread truck is there's a donut and a cake on the top, and the wheels have, I think, bread on them. And then you can see it says, I think it's "Our Bread Makes Babies." And this was decorated for the parade. So that was what they were getting the bread truck ready for then. And you'll see in that in the foreground there where it says French Bakery, that is the original bakery, again, that had Vanguard, that today has Vanguard properties. And that's where the bakery started in 1923 and lived until 1990, when my parents had the opportunity to move the bakery just one door south to its present location. Next slide. This is the building that Costeaux Bakery and Cafe is in today. It's originally the Cherry Mangetti grocer. If you are standing going down Healdsburg Avenue today and you're in front of the building and you look up, that facade there, that front facade, you'll notice is original. So that was kept when the building was remodeled in 1989-90. That front wall, front facade, and then the side walls that are exposed. You see that cement on the inside are all original to the original building built in the 1920s or so. And it's kind of fun to see the side, the signs, the Eat Mush there, and the other billboards promoting what you could buy there at the market. And you'll see the buggies out in front. Next slide. And there it is today. So there's that same front facade that you'll see lit up in the front. Next slide. Very proud of the fact, again, talking about our people, who support everything that we do. We have been recognized as one of the best places to work in the North Bay by the North Bay Business Journal. And that we were just received word last week that once again, our company, not only did our employees nominate us, but we were picked again to join that list of organizations that are recognized by the Business Journal as a great place to work. We're also currently in the running for Best Bakery in Sonoma County. Those are going on, so I'll shamelessly plug that. If you go onto the Press Democrat site, you can vote for the best of in a number of different categories. A bakery just happens to be one of them, but there are a lot of different categories, from wines to food to professional services, doctors, you name it. If you're at home, you're sitting there and you want something to do, go through those lists and click them off. And there are a number of Healdsburg entities that are listed in these best places of Sonoma County as well. Photographed here is myself with our pastry team responsible for making a lot of the great cakes and desserts that we make. And the big chocolate cake that Nancy is so fond of, and I'll let her tell you some other time what she calls it. Next slide. Going back to, even our choices program that we do, I tell Costeaux is training ground for life, and you can hit the next slide, Lance, I think it'll come up there. Often, we've employed a lot of people over the years, and we, teach people how to read, write, do some basic math skills, count change, answer a telephone, the please, the thank yous, all those things, all those soft skills come into our training program. And, it's a lot of people have come through our doors that we have had the opportunity to work with and impart some good people skills with, and turn them back out into the community to take on new endeavors and challenges and be contributing in other facets. The other thing that we do, obviously, from a trade standpoint, we'll take people in and teach them how to bake, how to make pastry. And there are a number of people that go to school formally and will learn this. They'll pay to go over to CIA over at Greystone, over in St. Helena or Hyde Park or even the junior college, right? But we'll take people in, we will teach them a trade and teach them a skill. In fact, Herb Lieberman, who many of you know in this club, former Sunrise Rotarian, he and his wife Bev now live down Southern California. In that previous slide, I've pictured one of our pastry chefs, Sylvia Nunez, came to me through Rotary, through Herb. Herb was leading at the time, the mentoring program that we were doing with the Marcia Becerra Academy at the Healdsburg High School. And he said he had this young girl who wanted to learn pastry. And I said, yeah, by all means, let's bring her in. We'll give her opportunity. So Sylvia came to us, worked with us, learned everything from the bottom up, from washing dishes to making the cakes, filling the cakes, and then getting into fine decorating. And she stayed with us just up until March or so, when changes started happening, and she decided that she wanted to go pursue some other opportunities. So she was with us for over a decade, or close to a decade. And again, that came through Rotary and Rotary's engagement with our community and the networking that we have available. The other big thing is at the bottom of the list, but should be at the top of the list, safety. We spend a great deal of time on safety, teaching people how to work safely and how to work in a safe manner. Next slide. We've also done a number of things for our employees over the years that I feel are very important, very committed to in engaging our family, our Costeaux family with our community. We partnered with the Santa Rosa Chamber of Commerce and the Healdsburg Chamber of Commerce and put on an English program through the Wheel. It's called the Wheel program, offered through the Chamber, where we had an instructor come in over the course of many weeks and work on English skills with our staff. This is a photo from the end of that when they received certificates for completing that program. So not only doing literacy programs, but also doing finance programs. We've done those as well over the years. And those have all been very positive ways that we're able to engage our teams to better themselves personally and professionally. Next slide. Next slide, please, Lance. Quality, we still, over the years, despite growing and moving from location to location, we still do shape bread and touch the bread with hands. It's one of the ways that we are able to keep our quality in check. However, that said, we have put a lot of equipment in over the last decade to help us improve our volume, as well as curtail the employment issues that we have been faced with and the very, very low unemployment that existed up until March of this year. Now we're in a very different situation, and I'll talk a little bit more about that here at the end. But quality is one of our underlying aspects and core values of the organization. Next slide. Go ahead, Lance. Thank you. Let's see, cinnamon nut bread. I think Larry was talking about that, the cinnamon nut bread that was there getting formed in that previous slide. It showed you all the ingredients get dumped together and then cut on the table by hand, formed, put in a pan. And pictures are worth 1,000 words. Yep, there it is there. So that's the making of cinnamon nut bread. Dough gets mixed in the bowl. throw it on the table. All the ingredients then get hand chopped into that loaf. So that's all the cinnamon, all the nuts, sugar, fresh eggs, all go into there and then gets cut by hand and portioned into the bread pans before it's baked, to then deliver to you a great loaf of cinnamon nut bread that can be toasted and consumed. Not only do we do the bread items, but we've got the savor items downtown, and the slide coming up shows a hamburger made in our cafe on one of our brioche hamburger buns. So those are different things that we've offered through our cafe operation. Next slide. Another triple chocolate mousse, chocolate crumb crust, 3 layers of mousse, and a 2-pound handmade chocolate rose on the top. Next slide. I think that might bring me to the end. Lance, I'm not sure if there's another slide after that or not. I apologize.
There is one more, just text. There's one more?
Oh, no, I know what there is. Yeah, we got a few more things. Okay, yeah, go ahead, because I wouldn't want to miss these. Yes. There's a couple others, one more after this. So simple on the quality thing. That's it. Bread, flour, water, salt. There's a picture of our bread. I want to show you another slide here that has, I think it's this next one, comes up with a list of ingredients that can just show you the difference between us and another. If you can read this, this is taken off of the back of a loaf of Wonder Bread. And again, not to disparage Wonder Bread and their product, but as the quote at the bottom says, Wonder Bread, 29 Wonder Bread ingredients, most of which amount to creating a chemical sandwich. So if you can understand what all those things are in there, let me know about it. But all that stuff, inclusions that are there, is to make a product very cheap and to give a product a tremendous amount of shelf life. If you want to do your own science experiment, grab a loaf of Wonder Bread off the shelf, leave it on your counter, and let me know when it starts to mold. Get back to me in a couple of years and let me know when the green stuff starts to appear. All right, go ahead, Lance. So gluten, this is my curtain opening up. It's slowly here, but it'll get there. Gluten is always a big question that comes up. What are we doing for gluten? Are we gluten-free? And the answer to that is no, we are not gluten-free. And just to share with you, it's something that as a company we've taken a lot of consideration in doing gluten-free products over the years. And about 6 to 8 years ago, we were looking at getting into it, and we did some research. And at that point in time, we made a commitment that we would not enter into the gluten-free market. Very, very sensitive to people with celiac and people with the disease where gluten can really have an adverse impact on them. And for that reason, we said, no, we're going to take this very serious. We're going to know that what we're doing is not going to be focused on gluten-free products. We can't guarantee that we'd be making a product gluten-free in our environment because of it being made in the same facility, transported on the same trucks, and brought into the same retail environment. So if we were to go down that road, we would want to, we'd have to go do something completely isolated. And in that 6 or 8 years ago, when we were doing the research, I came across an article on a bakery in the South that was supposedly making a gluten-free product, labeling it as such, and it wasn't. And they ended up getting sued, as you can imagine, and completely going out of business. So we're very focused on the products that we're doing and not making gluten-free. And I'll show you the next slide. This one came from me from a buddy that has a bakery in Texas. He sent this to me in the midst of April. And it says, hopefully you can read that, right? When the shelves were cleaned out of bread, where did all those gluten allergies go at the time? So we'll see what happens. Just you got to keep your humor during this during these periods of time. All right, next slide, Lance. This slide here, if you can see it there, just shows the U.S. per capita wheat and potato use, and you can see it's been on a steady decline over the years. Why am I showing you this? Because it's an issue, right? I mean, as people are consuming less wheat, that's a concern for our business, right? Wheat's a core ingredient for us and everything that we make. And if the consumption is going down, that means we've got to continue to look at adjusting our business model to figure out what other products and services we can do to keep ourselves moving forward. So just sharing with you that overall decline that has been occurring over the last decade or two. Next slide. I think some of you are aware that we make a few different products under different labels. We see the Costeaux French Bakery being the main brand. We opened up Costeaux on the Go, which is a little retail concept down at the Sonoma County Airport. It's about 800 square feet, and it's all prepared foods with a full-service coffee program that you can pop in and pop out of to pick things up. And that is open Monday through Friday. Last year, we had the opportunity to work with the Kozlowski family out in Forestville, Sebastopol area, and bring on their pie and pie tart business. We were fortunate to get a number of their very accomplished bakers that have been with them for several decades, came to us through that as well. And so today we are producing and making and baking the Kozlowski pies and distributing those through our distribution network. It's been a good opportunity for us to expand our product line as well. And a year and a half ago or so, we also opened up Tia Maria, which is down on Sebastopol Avenue in Santa Rosa, across from the Sonoma County Meat Company down there. And that's a little designed neighborhood cafe with focus on Hispanic baked goods, as well as a full coffee program there. Our conchas are what are the big hit down there. We do conchas, a concha breakfast sandwich, and a few other things as well. Next slide. A couple things on our sustainability commitments we've invested heavily over the last years on our transportation and running low emissions Mercedes Sprinters, and those are now getting phased out. We're looking at battery operated vehicles, and I've got a next slide on that one. But in addition to those things, we've got LED lighting throughout our operations. We put in our own water treatment component at the baking center in Santa Rosa, and we've got solar on top of our building down on Healdsburg Avenue. We do a tremendous amount of composting, recycling as well. Next slide. With concern to the electric vehicle, we did test these out in the early part of this year, January, February. We were very excited about them. We just ran into one problem. They didn't go as far as they thought they would, so we ended up on routes stuck on the side of the road. So until the mileage can get above 100 miles for a route or a charge on a battery, those are a work in progress. So very slick vehicles, great to drive, but didn't have the horsepower, the throughput that we needed to complete a route. So we're continuing to monitor that and see where that's going to take us. But we're very eager to see how the technology continues to develop on the electric vehicle side of things. We also implemented handheld devices for all of our trucks, eliminating paperwork, being able to streamline operations, and we've gone to online ordering for a majority of our wholesale accounts as well. Next slide. Wouldn't be surprised. I tell people we might be delivering things by drone. So here's a few pictures of drones delivering a croissant to you on your table, right, while you're having your coffee. Or that other picture that's in the bottom corner is an actual real life event that happened, a drone delivering a cake from a bakery to a establishment, and I believe that was in China, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not unrealistic that we could have drones delivering baked goods here in the not too distant future. All right, next slide. I think all of you have seen that, the big pie, right? And happy to always do that and be participative in community events. Go ahead, Lance. I know I'm running out of time here, so is there anyone? There we are, and that's it. This is our last slide, and that's where we were as of in early part of March. We had about 122 people. We log over 200,000 hours of labor. We drive over 300,000 miles a year, and we produce 2.3 million plus products annually. That is a little bit of a different story today based on the events that unfolded since March. Today we're at about 65, 70 people. Growing though, we've been rehiring and retooling the business to make it through these times. So, and as Rotary's theme was, Rotary opens opportunity for the year. That's the way that we are embracing this whole COVID matter, is opportunity. It's been a real opportunity for myself and my management team to dig through everything and try to peel off every layer of the onion and leave nothing unturned, and to ask what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and how we can make all these things work better to make sure that we have an organization that will be here for another 100 years. So that is my talk. I appreciate it, and I've gone over, but thank you. And I'd be happy to grab a question if there's any questions.
I see Fred Walters has his virtual hand up.
I do, thank you. Hey, Will, what's the length of retention for your employees?
Very good. We have a great core team, and we've kept that team together through this period of time as well. We're, average of probably 8 years or so. And the thing that brings that down is the cafe a little bit, because of the turnover there on the front of the house staff with traditionally what's been younger people coming through that are in the junior college level, working the serving positions, and then some of the other turnover that would happen on the lower side of production. But other than that, we've had, Donna Biasotti, I think hopefully some of you caught that. Donna retired from us at 85 in the midst of this pandemic after 30 years, almost 30 years with the company. So, we've got some other stories like that as well, but got a great core group of people. And Fred, I also know you had questions on Healdsburg Chamber of Commerce, and I'd love to take those, but not now. I love to get people's input on that down the road.
Any other questions for our beloved Will? I think we can all agree that, Will, you're not just another pretty face. This is
long hair. You like that?
The depth and breadth of the bakery. I mean, it's unbelievable, all the things that you have implemented and how you've grown the business. And we are so proud of you and to have you as a charter member of this club. I just pray that we get back to supporting you in person and sitting in that cafe. So thank you so much for your presentation today and for all the great products that you make. Pam, Ciro, Brad, thank you for joining us from your distances. Thank you everyone for participating, wearing your hats in honor of Will. Will never showed up at a meeting as president without something on his head. And we just thought that would be appropriate today. And I hope we can keep that fun up. Bob, thank you last week for running a very inspiring and thought-provoking topic on unconscious bias. And I hope everybody can take that test. I think that would be very eye-opening. I know I've had some good conversations with members following your presentation. And Carl's Craft Talk, thank you so much for sharing with us, Carl. Archie, I wanted to thank you for your inspiration on the Costeaux fun stuff today. And I want you all to get out there and play golf and bid on the auction items to get that Drew Esquivel Memorial Scholarship pumped up. Will, in honor of your presentation today, we will be making a donation to Polio Plus or your Paul Harris account. So thank you so much. On September 16th, next week, my very beloved daughter-in-law, Samantha Ponce, will be presenting to us how to be an askable adult. Now, many of us already have grown kids and they already have babies, but for them, that might be the right, bring your family and friends if you think this might be of interest to them. She is a health educator through Planned Parenthood and teaches junior high school age kids how, very important things, consent. Well, she'll tell you all about it. It's going to be very interesting. The September 23rd meeting is going to be our District Governor, Doug Johnson. So that would be something I would also recommend everyone be a part of. He's going to be talking to us about what's going on in our district. So unless anyone has any other questions, comments, speak up now. And we will adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.